Have you ever sat in your favorite chair, maybe with a cup of tea, and suddenly felt alone? Even if you're surrounded by photos of loved ones or memories of a life well lived, that quiet emptiness can creep in. And here's the thing, you're not the only one feeling this way. In fact, loneliness after 70 is more common than most people realize. But here's the good news. You don't need a huge circle of friends to feel connected, valued, and truly happy. There are other ways, surprising, simple, and deeply meaningful ways, to fill your life with warmth and companionship, even if you prefer a quieter life. Today we're talking about how to build those connections, not by forcing yourself into big social gatherings unless you want to, but by finding what truly works for you. Because let's be honest, at this stage of life, you deserve relationships that bring you joy, not stress. So, let's dive into 5 unexpected but powerful ways to feel more connected, starting with the first one. 1. Rediscover the lost art of letter writing. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Letters? In this age of texts and emails. But hear me out. There's something magical about putting pen to paper. It slows you down, makes you think, and creates a deeper connection than a quick like on social media ever could. Think about it. When was the last time you received a handwritten note? It probably made your day, right? Well, you can give that same gift to someone else. A family member, an old friend, even a neighbor. You don't need to write a novel. Just a few heartfelt lines about a memory you share, or something you appreciate about them. And here's the beautiful part. Often they'll write back. Suddenly you're not just keeping in touch, you're building a little thread of connection, one letter at a time. And if you don't know who to write to, consider sending a note to a soldier overseas, a nursing home resident who rarely gets mail, or even a grandchild who'd treasure your words for years to come. The act of writing itself can lift your spirits, and who knows, you might just spark a friendship that lasts. 2. Find your tribe, even if it's just 1 or 2 people. Here's a secret. You don't need a crowd to feel like you belong. Sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 kindred spirits, people who get you, who share your interests, or who simply enjoy your company without any fuss. Maybe it's a fellow gardener at the local community plot, or someone you chat with at the library. Maybe it's a friend from decades ago who you've lost touch with. Why not reach out? You'd be amazed how many people are longing for connection, just like you, but are waiting for someone else to make the first move. And if you're thinking, but I'm not the outgoing type, that's okay. Meaningful connections aren't about being the life of the party. They're about shared moments, a cup of coffee, a walk in the park, or even a phone call where you talk about nothing and everything. Start small. Invite someone over for tea. Or if leaving the house is hard, schedule a weekly phone date. The key isn't the number of people, it's the quality of the connection. Smooth transition to next part. Now, these first 2 ideas are all about reaching out in personal, intentional ways. But what if you're craving something a little different? Something that doesn't just connect you to others but also brings a new sense of purpose. Well, that's where our next surprising connection builder comes in. You know, one of the most beautiful things about getting older is that we've lived enough life to know what truly matters. We don't need superficial small talk or crowded rooms to feel connected. We just need something real. And sometimes, the most meaningful bonds don't come from traditional friendships at all. They come from purpose, from giving, from sharing what only you, with all your years of experience, can offer. That brings us to our next 2 surprising ways to feel deeply connected, without needing a big social circle. 3. Become a mentor without even realizing it. Imagine this. You're sitting on a park bench and a younger person strikes up a conversation. Maybe they ask for advice, or maybe you simply share a story from your past. Without planning it, you've just become a mentor. And let me tell you, few things fight loneliness as powerfully as feeling needed. You don't have to sign up for a formal program, unless you want to. Mentorship can happen anywhere, at the grocery store, in a waiting room, even online. Maybe you knit and a younger neighbor admires your work. Show them how. Maybe you've got decades of career wisdom, offer to answer questions for a local student. Or maybe you just listen when someone younger is struggling, offering the kind of calm perspective only life experience can bring. Here's why this works. When you share your knowledge, you're not just helping someone else, you're reminding yourself how much you still have to give. And often, these small interactions blossom into unexpected friendships. The young mother who asks for your cookie recipe might start checking in on you. The college student you advised might send you updates on their life. Suddenly, you're not just an older person, you're someone who matters in their story. 4. Let technology work for you on your terms. Now, I can already see some of you shaking your heads. Technology isolates people. And yes, if you spend hours mindlessly scrolling, it can. But used the right way, it can also open doors to connections you'd never find otherwise, all from the comfort of your favorite chair. Take online communities for example. There are groups for everything: birdwatchers, classic movie lovers, people who collect antique teacups. You can join discussions, share photos, or just read along until you feel like chiming in. No pressure. No small talk. Just shared interests. Or consider video calls. Maybe your grandkids live far away, but a weekly video chat keeps you in their lives. Maybe an old friend can't visit in person, but you can meet for virtual coffee. And if technology feels intimidating, ask a family member to show you the basics, or check if your local library offers senior tech help. Start simple, just one app or website at a time. The key is to use technology as a tool, not a replacement for real connection. A text will never replace a hug, but a video call can keep you close until the next visit. An online group won't replace your old book club, but it might introduce you to someone wonderful you'd never have met otherwise. Smooth transition to final part. Now we've covered 4 powerful ways to build connections, through letters, kindred spirits, mentorship, and technology. But there's one more method I want to share with you, and it's perhaps the most surprising of all. Because it doesn't require another person at all, at least not in the way you might think. Before we get to our 5th and final way to build connection, I want to tell you about my neighbor, Margaret. At 78, she lost her husband of 55 years. The house felt enormous without him. Her children visited, but they had their own lives. One day she told me, "I talk to Charlie all the time, I just do it differently now." And that brings me to perhaps the most profound connection of all. 5. Cultivate invisible companionship. Now, I know this might sound unusual at first, but stay with me. Invisible companionship isn't about being alone. It's about discovering how many meaningful relationships exist beyond traditional friendships. It's about realizing you're never truly isolated unless you choose to be. For some, this might mean spiritual connection, prayer, meditation, or feeling the presence of loved ones who've passed. For others, it's the comfort of routine conversations with the mail carrier, the barista who remembers your order, or even the birds that visit your feeder every morning. These small moments create a web of connection that's easy to overlook but profoundly real. Here's how to nurture this. First, notice the interactions you already have. That cashier who always asks about your day? That's connection. The librarian who saves certain books for you? That's relationship. Second, create rituals of connection: morning coffee while watching the sunrise, tending plants that respond to your care, or keeping a journal where you tell someone your thoughts. Most importantly, understand this. Loneliness isn't about how many people surround you, it's about whether you feel seen and valued. And that can come from the most unexpected places. So let's bring this all together. Feeling lonely after 70 doesn't mean you're doing life wrong, it just means your heart is telling you it's time for new kinds of connection. Whether it's through letters, finding your people, mentoring, technology, or these invisible companionships we've just talked about, you have more options than you might realize. I want you to try something this week. Pick just one of these ideas, the one that feels easiest or most interesting, and give it a try. Not perfectly, not impressively, just try. Because here's what I know about you: you have so much to offer this world. Your stories, your wisdom, your quiet presence, these things matter more than you know. And if you're watching this thinking, "But I'm not special," let me tell you, yes, you absolutely are. The very fact that you're here looking for ways to live fully and connect deeply proves that. So be gentle with yourself. Start small. And remember, connection isn't about quantity. It's about those moments when you feel, yes, this is what matters. I'd love to hear in the comments, which of these ideas resonated with you? Or maybe you've discovered your own way of staying connected that could inspire others. Your story matters more than you know. And if this video helped you today, pay it forward, share it with someone who might need to hear this message too. Until next time, remember this: the world is richer because you're in it. Here's to finding and creating the connections that make your heart feel at home.